The views and opinions expressed in this content are that of a continuously evolving nature and are subject to change as humanity evolves into higher states of awareness.
Right, well, you wanted to know, Lee, how I got to know my purpose, my mission, what I've come here for, which we've all come here with a mission, with a gift. Some people it's crystals, some people it's healing, or it could be, there's all sorts of different healings. I think my healing is love, getting people to love themselves and to appreciate what they are. Yeah, because if you like yourself and you love yourself and you do those affirmations, you start liking because you change to that and you start liking yourself a lot better. Because we're thrown at us, you're not supposed to like yourself. You're supposed to be miserable. Then they can control you. So once you get over the control business, know what they're doing. And that's what's so nice about coming into this, is you're learning the bits that they don't want you to know. The hidden knowledge, and that's what I love, is anything that's hidden. So when I came into this, I got this thirst for knowledge, and I started to read all the different books. And I started asking myself, to begin with, because I wasn't going to anything then, I was only going to this Kindred Spirit once a week, and they were doing all the talking. I didn't do any talking. And so I was talking to myself in this room, and I was saying, what about this, what about that? I think it could be this. And then I'd start getting bangs around the room. And I started getting it on the radiators. And I thought, gosh, what's happening? Why am I bang? There's something wrong with the radiator. And the television. They used to bang on the television. And my husband, when I used to tell him about what I'd read in the books and things, and he noticed it, and he said, there's something wrong with that radiator because it keeps banging. And then one day a lady came round, and she was spiritual, and it happened, and I said, I think my radiator's going wrong. She said, no, that's spirit. I said, what do you mean that's spirit? She said, that's spirit. She said, they're answering you. She said, you're asking a question in your mind or whatever, and that's how they're answering you. That's your clairvoyance, And from that moment on, I realised this was true. And also, I said, sometimes I have this burning desire to know something, and I get up and I get a book out, and it's there. And she says, that's how they're doing it with you. They're not talking to you. You're not you're clairsentience. You're not clairvoyant. You can't do the tarot because that's not you. You are capable of it, and you may come into it later, but at the moment, they want you to absorb all this knowledge, and that's why you're going crazy with all the books, and you're finding it fascinating. It's like food for you, and it's leading you, isn't it, from one thing to the other? I said, yes, it is. It's like stepping stones, and it's not boring. In fact, I learn something new every day, and I can honestly say, even to this day, I'm learning something every day. There's no end to it. That's why it's not boring.
I've noticed that myself, actually.
Yeah.
The universe will give us signs, and I'll often hear a siren in the background.
Yeah.
And that tells us I'm on the right track with something.
Yes. Well, some people see numbers or colours. They see a colour. And so they do help you, but you've got to be able to read the signs. Yes, if you can't read the signs, you won't see it. So learn to read the signs. For instance, when I did my spiritual room, I bought a pink carpet, but I bought this wallpaper for the walls. But I didn't think it was the right wallpaper. And I happened to go to France to visit my son. And on the way I said, I need the colour for the walls. And I kept seeing this yellow. And I saw this yellow everywhere. Even on little bricks on the side of the road. And we were out in the countryside, but cars would come when I was thinking about it. I opened my eyes and there was a yellow car. And we were going through a wood and it was round a corner. And I said, okay, if it really is this yellow that I need to put in there, the next thing that comes round that corner, if it's got any yellow on it, I'll know it's true. And round the corner came a great big lorry and it was yellow from front to back. So I went to change my when I got back, into the shop, and I took the old wallpaper and I said, could I change it? And I walked to this wallpaper and it had the pink of the carpet and this yellow. And it was perfect for that room because the yellow brought the sunshine into it, and the little bit of pink was in the carpet. And so they helped me by doing that. And they were teaching me, they were saying, have faith, Anne. We're going to show you something. And it was a long journey from Paris to where he lived. It was about 3 or 4 hours. And, so that was one of the things that I remember.
One of the things I've noticed is that things will come round 3 times to show you that it's real. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
It'll bring something 3 times.
Yeah. It's amazing. And but one of the things I've discovered with me, because you've got to discover what your purpose is. So I sat and asked and everything. And with what I was doing and my recipe for the various things, I realised that I am a light worker. I am somebody who opens people up to this. People a lot of people are looking for it, but they don't know where to find it.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to be waking up. Doesn't matter who you are, something's going to happen. You're going to wake up because we're going from the 3rd dimension into the 5th. And it's very important to find your purpose, to find that part of you. But we are mind controlled not to find it. That's why they killed the indigenous people, because they were doing this. You know, if you really think about it, why did they have to kill the Indians and the Aborigines when they had nothing? And they killed them by the thousands, they said, there's the land. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs to God. All they had to say was, okay, we'll have the land, and they would have given it to them. And, it's because they had the knowledge that they didn't want, I think, and I may be wrong, but I think they didn't want the Europeans to learn their language and to learn how to do what we're doing now. But they can't stop it because now it's growing and growing all over the world, everywhere.
Shamanism's coming back in as well.
Yeah, it's all coming back.
Medicines.
That's right. It's all happening, and it's meant to happen. And so when you find it, and it maybe you were drawn to crystals, you could be drawn to all sorts of things. It could be just philosophy. It could be paintings. It could be music. Healing music, all sorts of things. But when you find it, you run with it. You get excited, and it's like getting a pair of shoes that are comfortable, and you love your shoes to wear those particular ones. So this is what happened to me, and I discovered that I could talk to people about things after 5 years. I went to the Mind Bodies, and I just sat in the restaurant and started talking to people, and I was able to help them. And I remember the first one that it dawned on me what was happening. It was at Market Raisin. It was a long time ago. And I went with my husband, and I met this old lady. She was probably my age then. I looked at her as very old at the time. And I was a good 20 years younger than her then. And I started talking to her. And Mike said, well, I'm going off for a talk. Because these Mind Bodies, there's wonderful talks that you can learn things from, and people are expert in certain fields. And so he went off, and he came back, and it was an hour later, and he said, oh, are you two still talking? And then he said, well, I'm going to another one. And he came back, and we were still talking. And the old lady said to him, she said, I've just had the most wonderful conversation with your wife. She knows so much. And I thought, I don't know anything. What's she talking about? But she gave me the confidence, that woman, to do that. And I've had a lot of things happen to me at Mind Bodies. I had a lady come in once, and she came off the street. And she'd been to the market next door, and it was in a little memorial hall, and it was Saturday afternoon, and she was going home to an empty house, and she saw, on the way home, a sign for this Mind Body, and she thought, oh, I wonder what that's about. So she went in, and she'd never been to anything like it before, and she saw all the stalls, the crystals, and all the beautiful stuff that they sell. And of course, it only cost her a couple of pounds to go in. And she came to the restaurant, and she sat down with me, and she said, what's all this about? And I started telling her various things. And she turned around to me and she said, can I share something with you? She said, I've never told anybody this, ever. And she said, but I want to tell you. And I said, okay, what would you like to tell me? She said, well, you won't think I'm crazy, I hope. And I said, I shouldn't think so. And she says, well, when I was a little girl, she said, I used to have these little blue people used to come and visit me in my room. And she said they used to pop their head around the door and wave to me, and then they would come in. And when I told my mom about them, she said, you mustn't tell anybody about that sort of thing. They'll think you're ill and they'll take you away from us. You know, you must keep it to yourself, you know. But she said they're wonderful, they love it. She said, no, it's your imagination, you mustn't say this. So she said, I learnt not to tell anybody. She said, and she said, you know, they gave me so much joy, and they weren't frightening at all. I said, well, I think they're Arcturians that you're seeing. And she said, do you believe me? I said, oh, yes. I said, it's quite common. You're joking. I said, no, it's quite common. She says, well, I actually still see them. She said, they come and visit me. She said, and we talk and everything. And she said, and I'm not crazy. I said, you're not crazy, darling. And then I told her about my sister Mary. And I said, you know, I gave her Mary's tapes and things. I sent them to her. And so...
Who are these beings?
The Arcturians, I think they're the Arcturians from a planet called the Arcturians. And they're apparently they are small and blue. And they're very loving, they're very high beings. You know, when I've been in circle, I've been in a circle for 5 years with Judith. We had a lot of outer worlders came and talked to us. It's another big subject. And the first one that came through, they said, why are you humans so savage? Why are you still spilling blood on Mother Earth? You know, you're not supposed to do this. God has given you this most magnificent planet. And what are you doing to it? You know, look at how you're destroying it. You take something from the earth, like oil, and you put it into a car, which gives pollution into the air, and you're breathing it. The oil is there for a reason. It should be kept in the earth. If you take your heart and put it in your leg, it's still in your body, but it isn't in the right place. It's not going to do your body any good. Yes? This is what you're doing with Mother Earth. You're not supposed to move things. A Native American Indian, they said, wouldn't even pick up a stone and move it, because the stone is supposed to be there. What right do I have to move that stone? Yeah? And this is what this one, and then it told us off, and I was there. I mean, I was crying. I've never experienced like this before, and I thought, it's true. What are we doing to each other, and what are we doing to this planet and to the animals? What right do we have to do that? And that beautiful being, you know, came through and talked to us like that. And then it said, okay, we'll make it a bit lighter now, you know, and it came through and said, you know, and started talking wisdom and what have you, and it was wonderful. But I never forgot that first one that came through. And, you know, there's a big subject with that 5 years I did with Judith.
So do you think this is the reason aliens don't come and let us know that they exist? Because we're not ready yet?
They're frightened of us. They're not. We're the monsters. We'd kill them.
Yeah.
There are ones that are not very good. But if you walk with light and you have free choice, you are powerful. You're more powerful than you realise. A dark will not come near you. One of the things I would recommend for everybody to do is to put light through them every day, because you build your light body that way.
And light is the highest vibration.
Yes, you got suns beyond suns, and you ask for the light from the central sun to come through, the Christ energy to come through the top of your head, through your chakras that are out in the universe, and come through to the top of your head and through your body, so it hits all your chakras. I imagine my body to be made of glass, and I'm putting liquid into it. So, and I fill it my head with liquid taking it through my third eye, to my throat, to my heart, to my solar plexus, and the one below that, and then the ground, the one in between your legs, and then take it down and then put roots into Mother Earth. Imagine roots going into the earth and putting the light through to the centre of the earth to feed the earth with pure love of light from the central sun. That's feeding the earth. She loves it, Mother Earth. And then you bring her energy up through you, back up. So if you do that and then you put it around yourself, that's building your light body. And we're turning into crystallized solar light bodies. That's why we're changing. That's why we're living longer. That's why babies are not staying babies for very long. They're developing very, very quickly. Young ladies are becoming like the blood is flowing inside them, some of them at 10 years old instead of 18. Everything is getting changed. Our bodies are changing. Little boys think they're little girls. Little girls think they're little boys. It's meant. It's more. It's natural.
So everything's becoming more in unity.
Yes, we're changing our bodies. It's changing to go into the fifth dimension. That's another subject.